Hi guys, and welcome to the Coffee and Hero Show, part 2 of this week's, of course, which is always focusing on my pull list. So the titles that came in this week that made the cut for me, the ones I'm most looking forward to, and the big ones this week. So before I start off, just in case you didn't watch the other video, but there will be a couple of notable absences here. We just had some problems, just there weren't any copies delivered to us of Devil's Reign number 6 or Fantastic Four, the latest issue. I think it's 42 off the top of my head. So they both would have made it onto my pull list. You know, obviously I talk very highly about Devil's Reign, love that series, Chip Zdarsky, Marco Cicchetto, and I'm really enjoying the Reckoning War stuff through Fantastic Four as well. So as I say, there's no copies of those in this week, just in case it's on your pull list and you're going to make a journey down to us just for those titles. But there is, of course, plenty more out this week, which I will take you through now. So Shock Horror, we started with Batman. We're up to issue 122, and this is Shadow War Part 2. How good was Shadow War Alpha? It was absolutely fantastic. We've still 1 or 2 copies of it. It's basically laying your groundwork for what's going to be this Joshua Williams crossover event. Crossover event for all of his titles, which of course at the moment is Batman, Robin, and Deathstroke Inc. as well. So this is essentially us jumping into the first crossover, as Shadow War Alpha was essentially a one-shot, as I say, setting it up. So really looking forward to that after the strong start of Shadow War Alpha. Next up we have Batman Beyond Neo Year. So this is one that I went with the variant cover here, which is Christian Moore, just beautiful colours, really striking imagery. Obviously, we interviewed him recently in the podcast, just such a nice guy. But this comes from the team of Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzig, who we've been talking about in the podcast quite a bit recently. They're doing a lot of good work for both DC and Marvel. And they've got Max Dunbar on art for that as well. Do have cover A's in stock as well, of course. Batman Killing Time is next up for me. So Tom King, David Marquez. This is part 2 of the 6-issue mini-series. I love the first issue of this. It was very classic Batman. It wasn't let's create brand new villains and let's, try and sell first appearance copies. It was Batman has a great rogues gallery. Let's put them in a good story. So yeah, issue 2 of that. That's high on my list this week. Next up is a little bit of a special edition, so to speak. This is called Flashpoint Batman Night of Vengeance number 1. So this is from the 100 Bullets team of Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Risso. And this essentially is the, if you will, the origin story for Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne and what happened to them in Flashpoint, which created this alternate reality when Barry went back through the time stream and saved his mother. So this essentially sets up Flashpoint Batman, but it also shows you the fall of Martha Wayne into madness as the Joker through the, grief of losing her son. But yeah, they've collected together all the individual issues for this and put it into one. They're essentially giving you the origin story in time for Flashpoint Beyond, which kicks off soon. Next up we have Firepower, which is back, and I'm very happy about that. Issue 19, of course, this is picking up after you've got 4 trades out so far. You got the Prelude trade, and then volumes 1 to 3 covered 1 to 18. And we're back now with number 19, and just look at that kick-ass cover. Can't wait for that. One of the best indie comics around. New AWA title hits this week called The Joneses. This is number 1 of 5. Michael Morecki, Alessandro Vitti. And with this one, from what I understand, this is their attempt at like a Fantastic Four family dynamic superhero tale. Again, it's going to be 5 issues. I always jump on the AWA stuff to give it a go. So I'll look forward to this. Teen readers, so not one just for kids. Next up is Little Monsters. First issue, this was great. It comes from the Ascender/Descender team of Jeff Lemire and Dustin Wayne. Or as far as issue 2 now, quite horrific in places, quite hopeful in other places. Stunning watercolor-esque art as you'd always expect from Dustin Wayne. Just an all-around great title, and issue 2 is this week. Another new one is this is a series called New Masters. Now, I spoke about this on the podcast recently. Issue 1 was my pick of the week it came out. Just a really cool title. It comes from a Nigerian pair of brothers who are writing the title, and it's sort of an alien occupation of Earth type story. And it's great to read a story like that where it's not just from a US point of view or a UK point of view. It's nice to see something different. Add into that the artwork, which is absolutely beautiful, really colourful, really vibrant, really detailed. And you've got an absolute winner. It can be a little tricky getting the issue 1 of that. Obviously, Image aren't doing their whole second printings and so forth anymore. But definitely keep that title in mind for a hitch trade, because I'm loving the hell out of that. Next up, a new Aftershock title. This is called The Ocean Will Take Us. So this comes from Rich Dueck and art by Carlos Oliveras. With this one, Rich Dueck is a name that we are starting to get to know a little bit more. Did, of course, Road of Bones through IDW. Moving across to Aftershock with this one now. Did a story in Superman Red and Blue. Really, really cool guy. And this looks to be an all ages title as well. So again, Aftershock number 1, always worth giving a go to. Next up we have issue 2 of 5, Radiant Red. So of course this is the sister series, if you will, to Radiant Black, which of course is such a great title and a favourite of the store. So first issue of this was pretty sweet, you know, it's sort of origin-y, sort of setting up where they are at this point, how they are related to the Radiant Black and so forth in this sort of, this embryonic, if you will, superhero universe in the Image universe. But yeah, really good stuff. That Radiant Red number 2, I think we have number 1s on the rack. We do indeed there as well. So if you fancy jumping in that, we've got 1 and 2. Any good week with Walking Dead Deluxe is always a good week, as you're bored hearing me say. We're up to issue 36 now, so this is the end of the 6th story arc, always 6-issue arcs at a time. Kirkman Adler, of course, just a dream team. Of course, Dave McKeag doing the fill-in colours. Love the Walking Dead Deluxe. This may be cover of the week, and I don't know an awful lot what it's about, but the cover is enough to take me to get it, and also the fact that it's from Vault Comics. This one's called West of Sundown. Looks like it's going to be quite horror-based. Tim Seeley, of course, Aaron Campbell as well. And I just love that poster. It's like a 70s grindhouse horror type poster. And Vault have been knocking the horror stuff out of the park recently, so really looking forward to that. And again, if it's anywhere near as good as that cover, we're in for a treat. One of the most brutal covers of the week, Black Widow 15 years, so continuing on with the Kelly Thompson, Elena Casagrande run. Again, Adam Hughes continuing to do the covers. Just great all-action Marvel title. Next up we have Jim Ruggs' Hulk Grand Design Monster. So this is part of a 2-part series by Jim Rugg, and it's essentially similar to X-Men Grand Design, you know, where it was trying to, I suppose, fit in so many years of history all into one title, and, you know, making it really accessible for new readers, you know, paying tribute to the history of these characters. It actually came out last week, but we were shorted quite a few copies, so I'm glad to see we have copies this week for the racks. So it only made it on the My Pull list this week. Moon Knight is next up, of course, very topical at the moment, but you should be on this run. It's so good. Jed McKay writing, Alessandro Capuccio on art. Just continues to be a great title. It's one of those ones goes close to the top of my pile every single week it comes out, and this will be no exception. Issue 10 this week. Next up we have SpiderPunk, so coming from the Spider-Verse essentially, if you will. I believe it's going to be a 5-issue miniseries. Cody Ziegler writing, Justin Mason on art. Just punk rock sensibility to a little bit of Spidey. Enjoyed that character through the multiverse and Spider-Verse and so forth, so more than willing to give that a go. Next up we have The Thing. I believe this is the end of this 6-issue run for Ben Grimm. And again, it's just been a lot of fun. I've been collecting the variants the whole way through just to have the slightly different color covers. But again, another fun series, just sort of looking at one of the Fantastic Four instead of all of them. And then we finish off this week with Wonder Woman Historia, the Amazon. So we're now on to issue 2 of this. This is Kelly Sue DeConnick writing. I believe that initially it looked like it was going to be Phil Jimenez doing all the art, but they're changing artists from book to book, I believe. And they've not stepped down at all with this one. It's an artist called Jean Ha, and the artwork is glorious in this, just as nice as Phil Jimenez's, I would argue. And again, telling an interesting, detailed history for the Wonder Woman universe, if you will. So yeah, so as I say, that is my pull list. Again, just to remind you, again, Devil's Reign 6 would have been there, Fantastic Four would have been there. But we may get them later this week, and maybe next week with next week's delivery. I have to wait and see. But in the meantime, is there ever anything appeals to you that's not on your pull list, just get in touch with us. We'll always do our best to get you sorted. Or if you ever want to set up a pull list, again, just next time you pop in the store, let us know, or drop us an email and let us know as well. Just coffeeandheroes@hotmail.com. So until then, hope you guys are staying safe out there. I hope this proved useful as always, and I look forward to seeing you in the store soon. Take it easy.